Artificial intelligence, AI. You know, this whole artificial intelligence AI thing is kind of scary, right? Like, we're creating these smart machines that learn and develop on their own. But the problem is, some people worry that down the line, these AIs will become so powerful that we'll just be extra parts like, oh, humans, we don't need them anymore, thanks. Can you imagine? It's like the plot of a sci-fi movie, but people are aware this could be real. Even big names like Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk have talked about this stuff. So it's a mix of fascination and concern, you know? Nuclear war. Remember that time when the whole world was watching the US and the Soviet Union during the Cold War? Yeah, during that period, people were super worried about the possibility of a nuclear war. Just imagine, atomic bombs being launched back and forth, destroying entire cities in seconds. It was like a nightmare haunting many people back then. And for good reason, right? The power of these weapons was so immense that the fear of a nuclear apocalypse was very real. It gives you chills just thinking about it. Alien invasion. Dude, have you ever thought about the idea of an alien invasion? It's like something out of a movie. But did you know this started popping up in the 1960s? That was when the space race was heating up and people started seeing strange lights in the sky. Then, boom, theories about aliens coming to invade Earth began to surface. It's crazy to think about because we're like, what if it's true? After all, we have no idea what's out there, right? And since then, the idea of an alien invasion has become a popular theme in many movies, TV shows, and books. Hey, who knows? Maybe one day we'll meet some friends from outer space. Plague. Man, give me a high five if you also think diseases are terrifying, right? Just look at what happened with the recent pandemic. This whole thing turned the world upside down. And it's not just now that people are freaked out by pandemics, you know? Back in the Middle Ages, the Black Plague was a total nightmare. Imagine a disease spreading quickly, killing a bunch of people along the way. It's spine-chilling just to think about it. And the worst part is that even with all our technology today, these things can still happen, you know? That's why we need to stay alert and take care of our health, dude. You never know what the future holds. Religious prophecy. Hey, have you ever thought about how religious beliefs still influence us today? Like, there are those ancient stories such as the flood in Christianity and Ragnarok in Norse mythology that still freak a lot of people out, you know? It's impressive how these things continue to shape our interpretations of the end of the world. Back in the day, people already feared these apocalyptic events, and even today, folks are speculating about when and how it all will happen. And even though we're more skeptical these days, these stories still make us pause and think. After all, you never know what might happen in the future. Zombies. Have you ever stopped to think about the craziness that is the zombie myth? This whole story started in Haiti during the 17th and 18th centuries when African slaves were brought there to work on sugar plantations. The guys would tell stories that if they killed themselves, they would come back as zombies, trapped in their dead bodies forever. Over time, this idea spread and became a real pop culture phenomenon. Seriously, these days you just turn on the TV or check out movies and you'll find a bunch of hungry zombies everywhere. From The Walking Dead to Zombieland, people love this zombie apocalypse thing, and you can't deny it's a theme that captures our attention. Climate change. Hey, so everyone's aware of this whole climate change thing, right? We hear about it all the time, especially in the news and political debates. But look, this idea of a climate apocalypse, like what happened in the movie 2012, might be a bit exaggerated. Sure, climate change is serious and has a huge impact on our planet, but a catastrophic event like that? Maybe not so likely. After all, science shows that climate change is more complex than just a sudden disaster, so it's good for us to be concerned and take action, but we don't need to panic, okay? Natural disasters. You know that feeling that nature can be kind of unpredictable sometimes? Yeah, when we talk about natural disasters, it's like that. Earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, all these things can cause massive destruction, especially if they happen all at once. Just imagine an earthquake followed by a tsunami or a volcanic eruption along with an earthquake. It's enough to freak anyone out. And the worst part is, we have no control over these things, right? Nature just does what it wants. That's why it's important for us to be prepared and have emergency plans because you never know when these things will happen. Famine. You know that feeling of an empty stomach? Imagine that on a massive scale, where millions of people are starving. It's heartbreaking. The increasing population and lack of resources can lead to this nightmare, and it's exactly what we see in the movie Interstellar. There, Earth is all messed up, with not enough food for everyone, and people are struggling to survive. It's a powerful reminder of how hunger can be a real threat, especially if we don't take care of our resources properly. And man, it's important for us to pay attention to this and do whatever we can to prevent it from happening for real, right? Meteor impact. Just think about this idea. A giant meteor heading towards Earth and bam, it's the end of times. Just like in the movies, you know? Although it's rare, people keep an eye on this possibility because of past mass extinction events. Like the dinosaurs were wiped out by a huge meteor, so it's natural for us to watch out for this, right? Because man, if a meteor that size hits Earth again, we're in big trouble. But hey, no need to panic. Scientists are keeping an eye on this and have plans to avoid such a catastrophe. It's just one of those things we hope doesn't happen, but it's worth keeping an eye on, just in case, you know?